everybody, welcome to the 𝐂𝐸 Way. I'm Jessica, and today's video is going to be the 5 lessons that I learned from losing 100 pounds. In case you're new here, or this is the first video you are watching for me, 3 years ago, I embarked on a journey to a healthier lifestyle. It was not intentionally that I was gonna lose weight or I was gonna hit a certain thing on the scale or whatever. It was just, I was physically miserable. I was missing out on my daughter's life. I wanted different and more, and so here we are. I started out at 280 pounds. I officially hit the 100 pounds lost about a month ago, and I thought that I would share some of these things with you. These are like 5 kind of almost hard truths that I wish somebody had told me in the beginning. I think we all know them in our back of our mind, but we don't necessarily want to admit them to ourselves or hear them. But because it's January, because health and fitness are a lot of people's New Year's resolutions, from somebody who has done it and lost 100 pounds or gotten healthier or whatever you want to call it, this is the top 5 things that I learned. I actually wrote a whole thing about them in my journal, so I am going to reference that. I'm also going to go ahead and apologize in advance if I get emotional. This journey has been a big one. Number 1, it took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take to get healthier, to lose the weight, to whatever you want to call it. And if you are on a health journey, it is going to take you a lot longer than you think. I honestly thought I would be where I wanted to be in a year. It's been 3 years. I'm a lot closer to where I want to be. I'm still not sure that I'm where I want to be. And I don't mean on the scale, because I don't necessarily care what that number ends up being in the end, but I still don't think I'm where I want to be overall. But I'm sure as heck a lot closer than I was. But here's the thing I want to say. The time is going to pass regardless. I could still be sitting here 3 years later, because the time would have passed either way, miserable, unhealthy, overweight, and incapable of living my life, physically and mentally, and probably even emotionally. Or I can just have put in the time, which I did, and be where I am now. So if you're on a journey, or if you're starting a journey, keep in mind it's going to take a lot longer than you think it's going to. You didn't become unhealthy overnight. You didn't gain the weight overnight. You're not going to miraculously wake up tomorrow and be healthier, and you're not going to wake up tomorrow and have lost the weight. It's just not going to happen. So go ahead, strap your boots up, accept that it's going to take you a lot longer than you think, but the time's going to pass regardless. So you might as well spend the time putting that effort into yourself. Lesson number 2, it was hard. It was really hard. There was nothing easy about it. Every choice, every decision, every day, it was difficult. It was hard. But here's the thing. So was being 100 pounds overweight. I had so many hard things on a daily basis. Walking was hard because it hurt my knees and my ankles and my feet and my heels. I couldn't hardly walk the beach with friends and family because walking in soft sand was an absolute nightmare. Going to Disney, we got maybe a quarter done than what we can get done now. I didn't even know how much I was slowing down and holding up the other people in my life, because it was physically hard on me. Having to be asked at Universal to either get off of a ride or move to a different row that was more accommodating was hard, mentally, emotionally, physically. Going to a restaurant and asking to not be sat in a booth because I wasn't sure if I was going to fit was hard. The mental, the emotional, the physical, all of it was hard. It was exhausting. It was miserable. It was all hard on me. So I think at the end of the day, you choose your hard, right? The plus side is that while every day was hard, this whole journey has been hard, there at least was rewards to the difficultness, right? Yeah, working out is hard. Yeah, eating healthy is hard, but I'm in a fitter body and I can do things now that I couldn't do before. And I have this whole life that I'm capable of living that I couldn't live before. That past heart of being 100 pounds overweight didn't have any probes to it. Like, it just kind of all stunk. Like, it was all pretty miserable, unfortunately. So there's that. Like, it's not going to be easy. There's no easy button. There's no magic pill. I mean, yeah, there may be things that work better for other people. That's not for me to decide. But you're going to have to make changes. You're going to have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. You're going to have to do things that are mentally, emotionally, and physically hard for you to do. But it's probably going to be worth it. Lesson number 3 is that it was not linear. There were ups and downs. Like, it literally looked like this. And I'm not just talking about the scale. I'm talking about everything. There were days and weeks when I would have great days and weeks, and my eating would be on point and my workouts would be on point. There would be times when I didn't work out for weeks and it felt like I had to start over at scratch again. Like, where I could, let's say, for example, bench press 20 pounds, I was bench pressing 10 again. And it felt like there were so many setbacks, workout setbacks, eating setbacks, setbacks on the scale, emotional setbacks, mental setbacks. There would be times that I was like, I want to give up. And it was really, 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 really hard, especially when for the longest time I didn't see any progress being made. Like, it was probably almost 2 full years into my journey, and probably at that point about 60 to 70 pounds down before I felt like I saw any difference in my energy, in my like physical appearance. And here's the crazy thing, because there was tons of differences. I mean, I was buying smaller clothes. I was able to walk 3 miles where I could barely walk a mile before. Like, there were tons and tons of differences, but I don't know, body, mental dysmorphia, whatever you want to call it, I couldn't see them. I couldn't accept them. It was like I could literally have a picture side by side and I would be like, I don't see it. And everybody was like, you're crazy. Like, this is obviously 2 very different people. Like, I even, like, 2 days ago was complaining about push-ups because push-ups are still so difficult for me. And I think my max push-ups were like 6. And I was kind of getting, like, upset about it. And Kevin's like, okay, but 3 years ago you couldn't do 1. You know, like, there was obviously a lot of different things that I could have been seeing the changes in. But somehow you mentally get caught up in the scale. And the scale obviously does not go down every day. So that feels like a roller coaster, right? Like, today's a good day because the scale's down, or tomorrow's a bad day because the scale's up. And that was so, so frustrating. But here's the thing that I had to learn. Sometimes progress isn't always moving forward. It's just not moving backwards. Like, for example, during the holidays, the holiday season is kind of crazy for everybody. You're busy. You're eating at other people's houses. You can't control what you're eating. You can't track what you're eating. You might be too busy to work out. So maybe you're not making forward progress. But you know what? If you're maintaining and you're not going backwards, then that's still progress. Like, that's progress from who you were before. And it's progress from, you know, where you're going to be. And so, like, I had to remind myself over and over and over that even though we had a setback, like, I was only a failure if I quit. No matter what the setback was. Even if the setback was that I gained 20 pounds on the scale, because I did do that one summer. It was a bad summer and I fell off the wagon, if you will. I didn't work out for, I think, almost a month. I ate anything and everything I wanted, and the scale went up 20 pounds. It was miserable. It was mentally and emotionally a wreck, but I just reminded myself, unless you quit, you're not a failure. So we're just going to pick our boots up by the straps and get back at it and start over. Like, you did it once, you can do it again. So I did. And so that's what I want you to remember is, like, if you're on a journey and you're doing this, it's not going to be linear. It's not always going to be it's not always going to feel like you're making forward progress. It's not like the scale is going to keep going down. In fact, speaking of the scale, you really should do things other than just the scale to see your progress, like pictures, measurements, the scale, your clothing size, your energy. Are you sleeping better? Like, so many other things do not just depend on the scale, because let me just tell you, it is a liar. Like, that the scale is such a bad representation of your health and your progress. Like, it's just not, because it doesn't take into effect like body fat versus muscle and all that. Like just use it as a tool, but have so many other tools in your toolbox. Lesson number 4. My body was capable of just about anything. Like physically, it was never my body that failed. It was almost always my mind. Like if I could talk my mind into it, if I could get over like the mental whatever it was, right? Like there's no way I can ruck with 20 pounds on my back. Like I can't physically carry 20 pounds, but mentally, if I could like flip it, if I could convince myself mentally that I could do it, I could do it. Like anytime we would be in the gym and I'd be like, I can't lift those. And Kevin would be like, I think you can. Let me spot you. If you can't, then you can't. Almost every single time I could lift it because it was always my mindset and the mental that stopped me. It was never like my actual body. My body was capable of so much more than what my mind gave it credit for. And I say all of that to say that a health journey, a weight loss journey, a fitness journey, whatever you want to call it, in like my mind was physical, right? Like I have to control what I eat and I have to work out, but it was so much more mental than I ever thought it would be. Like it is probably more mental than it is physical because it's your mind you have to convince that you're not hungry or that you don't want, this food and you want that other food instead. It's your mind that you have to convince that you want to work out or you're going to work out even though you don't want to work out. It's your mind you have to convince that you can lift heavier or you can walk longer or you can do whatever. Like it is always going to be a mental battle. And for me, it was a lot of mental work because I was an emotional eater and a stress eater. And like the mental work is probably just 10 times more than the physical. Like just go ahead and accept that as well. A fitness, a health, a weight loss journey is so much more mindset than it is anything else. If you can convince your mind, your body will follow. Like your body is capable, I promise. Lesson number 5, the last lesson, is that support is key. Like I absolutely could not have done it without support. Now, granted, nobody could do it for me. Like I had to do it for myself. I had to want it for myself. I had to do it for myself. But having support changed the game. And that support came in many different forms for me. It came in the support of my husband. It came in the support of my daughter. It came in the support of friends and family members. It came in the support of so many of you guys. And also a coach because I needed somebody who wasn't always going to treat me with kid gloves. I needed somebody who was going to be like, hey, you've missed 2 weeks of workout. What's going on? Is everything okay? If it is, you need to get your butt in the gym. And having a coach to hold me accountable was huge. I will leave her link in the description in case you are looking for a coach. But support was like so big. Like I said, nobody could do it for me. I had to do it for myself. I had to rescue myself. But having a cheerleader, having somebody checking in on me, having somebody telling me like you're capable of more, like I said with Kevin in the gym, telling me like, hey, I think you can lift more weights. Or, hey, do you want to go for a walk today? When that was the last thing I wanted to do, but I knew we should, so yeah, let's go. Or, my mom, when we go out to dinner, ordering something better, so I order something better. Or, just somebody to hold you accountable. I don't care if that's a family member, a friend, your spouse, your child. Hire a coach if you have nobody else. Like, reach out to me if you really, really like I can't afford a coach. I have nobody in my life. I will be there for you. Because having somebody in my corner cheering me on was the biggest help through this journey. I definitely could not have done it alone. Like I needed every one of those people cheering me on along the way. And the great thing is that all those people are cheering me on along the way also got to, in some form or fashion, celebrate the small wins with me, the small wins and the big wins. That's going to be my bonus, not a lesson, but a tip is even if you have like this big lofty goal, like I'm going to lose 100 pounds or I want to lose 100 pounds, don't forget to celebrate the small things along the way. Like, hey, I can fit into a smaller pant size or a pair of pants I haven't been able to fit into in a year. Or for example, I've lost 10 pounds. I'm 1/10 of the way there. In my case, my small wins were from my Get Fit bucket list, which is also in my journal. I keep it in the very front. I made a list of all of the things that I was either too unhealthy or too large to do. Something simple like shop in a regular store, like in a mall, and not have to special order clothes, to fit on rides at roller coasters, to indoor skydiving, like things that I never thought were possible. And those were the things that when I would hit milestones or when I needed something to kind of push me forward or motivate me, those were the things that I tried to do. And I did some of those with all of the people, for the most part, except all of you guys, because I can't take you with me, who helped me cheer and celebrate. I just want to leave you with that, that it's going to take longer than you think. It's going to be hard. It's more mental than physical. It's not going to be linear, and support is going to make all the difference in any kind of fitness, health, or weight loss journey. And again, if there's nobody else on your team, I'm cheering you on and I will be on your team. If you are on a fitness, health, or weight loss journey, I would love it if you would let me know down in the comments so I can at the very least keep you in my mind and wish you the best of luck.